Morning, guys. Babyface Ferrasci here. I decided to shave it off, get a little bit of a chance while I still can to look like a young man, right? After a while, I won't be able to avoid it. Nowadays, I grow my gray beard and it shows my age. But other than that, I got a baby face. I'm lucky. I got good genetics. All right, so I wanted to do a yak session this morning as I'm driving into town and going to work some dogs at the park. For those of you that follow me, you know I have some certain points of view. In the LA basin, we have a lot of trainers. They're all over the place. We have a pretty large community. But we have a very consistent community in how we treat each other, what we do. It's dog eat dog, people backstabbing each other and bad-mouthing each other. And I can't say that I am immune to that. In other words, I'm human myself, right? But my angst comes from certain perspectives and values and beliefs in my profession. Okay, and I take it a little more serious than most because I started my profession when there was hardly any dog trainers out there. You had maybe one or two dog trainers, and they would be in parks giving lessons the old-fashioned way back in the 70s, and it wasn't as prevalent of a profession. And now it's everywhere. Everyone in the brothers training dogs, and that's not wrong. It's our profession has grown. But here's the problem: our society, with our youth that don't want to work for anything and instant gratification, and it happened back then, don't get me wrong, but this tendency to go ahead and start getting a little bit of a taste, have one dog, be messing with one dog in a club or something, and before you know it, you think you're a professional. Boom, you hang a shingle out, and you basically, without much skill at all, you go out and start telling people that you're a professional trainer and you're selling your wares, and the customer's dying that you're learning on. I call it a Puufta Trainer. All of a sudden, Puufta, I'm a trainer, and it happens all the time. And I've got all kinds of examples. I got one guy I'm running into right now that I befriended, and I usually do. I go out and I do this all the time. I hear of somebody with a profession, he's starting to market himself, and I'll run over to find out who that is. I'll shake their hand, and I'll offer my friendship. And I do it all the time, right? Or if somebody even comes up to me and they do it, and they shake my hand, they befriend me, and I don't hold back giving knowledge. I don't hold back my friendship, but I do look to see where that person's head's at. What are their values? What are their intentions as far as, do they want to become a professional? Most of the time they don't tell you. They just say they need help with a dog or this and that. And they hang around for a year or so, maybe even less. And then before you know it, poof, I'm a trainer, and they hang on a shingle. And they start plying a craft that they have no clue about yet. And they're applying that craft and they're learning on their customers' dime. That's the thing that bugs me. So I did a write-up. Somebody posted something, a friend of mine online, and she's talking about the bad mouthing and the smack talking and our vicious cycle that we have in our profession. But I put my point across to her that, and this is what I'm trying to point out to the last person that I ran into that we're butting heads with right now. And this individual, as I told them, and I did this post, I'm going to put it below this, right? To get my points of view across. I have nothing begrudge. I begrudge nothing as far as you learning and growing, and you going out there to learn and grow and do everything you can to climb up the ladder in our profession and learn your craft. I have nothing wrong with that. It's the way I did it. I went out and worked for people. I scooped shit in the back of Kennels, and I earned it the hard way. For years I did that, working for other people up and down the California coast, right? I got to a point, like I said in my little write-up that I'm going to put below this, that I ended up calling myself the secret in the back room because nobody knew who I was, but I was out back there doing the training for I was contracting, working for somebody else. So I was operating under their shingle, right? That's how you learn. You mentor under somebody and you earn it the hard way. Scoop shit, work for somebody else, earn it, and then you'll get my respect, right? So if you come into my life and you all of a sudden act like, and I figure that out, and then when I try to tweak your tail a little bit and point you in the right directions, and I try to do the best I can for you as a friend, that's why I'm doing it, right? And you don't want to listen to me, you want to do what you want to do because you're such an adult and your ego is all over the place. More power to you. I'll shut the door on you and I'll start using you as an example. And I'll put it out there, and I won't ever say who you are, so you can't sue me for slander. but you're just one of the general of a bunch of people doing the same damn thing. But in our profession, those that are in our profession, we all know who we're talking about. We all know who's who. Believe me, right? And you can sit there and watch you on film and watch your videos and see you and know right away that you've got no real will you get skill? Are you taking bites out there? Are you lucky enough maybe to be, a law enforcement officer? You hung out a shingle when you went out and went to one course through Aldahorse, and you went through the decoy #1 school. And then Puufta, you were a trainer, and you went out there and did all the marketing, because that's our new age right now. I can do logos, I can go LLC, I can do all this shit, and that means I'm a professional. No, it doesn't. It means you're a friggin' thimble in your knowledge base, and you're just learning. Will you learn it? Sure. 2-3 years from now, you're going to get pretty good, because you have that, I'm not telling you don't have passion. I know you got passion. What I'm telling you is you're wrong to do it the way you're doing it. Right? Hang out a shingle and go, Puufta, I'm a trainer, right? And until our community, until our profession, all of us start standing up and saying with our behavior and with our attitude, saying that this is wrong, these kids will keep doing this. And the one that's suffering, and this is your craft, this is your trade. Do you care about your trade? Do you care about what it means and what the perspective that the general public has of our profession? Do you care about that? If you did, you would call it. You would call it out and you would say, this is wrong. And you would do it in such a way that not just me, I'm the big bad guy, I'm the asshole on the block, right? Everybody hates my guts because I point it out. And I don't cut no bullshit, right? And because of that, all the kids love to hate me. They talk about me behind my back, and there's haters all over the place. Do I give a shit? Not really. Because it's been doing it for 30 years. This stuff will just keep going and going. But here's my point. And until professionals that are really well respected, those of us that have a little bit of creds, start all having the same attitude and telling these kids in a nutshell with our behavior and how we act and how we receive this behavior, that we don't condone it, that we do not look fondly on that I have no respect for you when you show that behavior. Okay? It's not you that I dislike. It's the behavior that I will not condone, right? And I'll be damned if I'm going to keep my mouth shut and not say anything about it, because it's my profession. I grew up with it. I have a certain ownership and pride and care about what I do and what I perform, how I produce product and what I turn back to I care about these things, right? So me allowing you to do that without saying anything, without pointing out this failure in our profession and in our community, to me is wrong. So I will take that onus on as an individual and hope that as time goes along, that just like a snowball, when it's rolling downhill, it'll catch some steam, and now other people that I respect, I could drop names all day long, and you know who you are. If you're one of those people that you feel that you're a professional and you've been doing this for any length of time, and the community respects you as a trainer, you need to start pointing this stuff out and doing it in such a way that we're all doing that. All the people that have any experience under their belt, that have some creds, that are respected in the profession, we all need to start doing this. So these kids stop doing that shit, because they won't be allowed to, because our attitude and our angst will stop them from doing it. Peer pressure, right? Will it totally knock it out? No, but it'll curtail it a little bit, right? I figure I'm guesstimating about 3 to 5 of these people show up in our area a year. That's probably a low estimate, right? There's probably a lot more that do it, right? So the most recent one was an officer that went through decoy #1 school, and within a couple minutes, boom, hung up a shingle. He's working with law enforcement, taking some bites. He's a piece of meat on the end of the string, because there's no skill in that. They set up scenarios. All you got to do is be a piece of meat at the end, right? Do I disrespect that? No, because over time you're learning a lot of different things as far as tactics. I admire that. This one guy out there that's doing a lot of work with law enforcement, I won't say his name, but he knows who he is, and I've got respect for him, because that's how he's building his business up. There's no money in law enforcement, guys, as far as going out and doing decoy work, but there is a certain amount of prestige, a certain amount of credibility if you stayed at it, and you're learning a lot when it comes to tactics and safety and all that good stuff, things that I would love to learn, right? But at the same time, I'm 60 some odd years of I'm an old man. So bottom line is, guys, I'm putting out a point of view that I am going to keep doing. You know what I mean? It's who I am as an individual. I've been that way for years, and people know that about me, those that know me, right? So in a nutshell, it's something that I think is important to point out, right? I really do. And I'm not going to sit there and make people think that I'm the problem. I'm not the problem. I'm the one that's trying to point out the problem. And those that are doing this, that have done it in the past, you've grown past it, and you now actually do have some skills and in your craft, and you actually have done it, more power to you, you know. But those that are wanting to come out and just go Puufta, I'm a trainer, and hang a shingle out, it's wrong, guys. You're doing a disservice to your clients, to the profession as a whole, because you're representing that we as professionals will do this kind of behavior, and we think it's okay. You know, we need to stop this so that we clean that up to a point where now the value goes to the customer, because those of us that are left that actually have some real skills are the ones that are hanging our shingle and giving our services to the customers, right? Do I think licensing is the answer? No. I think peer pressure and us as a group of professionals pointing this out and doing it in such a fashion that we're all doing it instead of just me pointing this out and voicing it, right? That's where it's at now, because I'm the idiot that's friggin' putting myself into the fire all the time, because now I got all kinds of hater, nobody likes me and all that kind of shit. More power to you. You know, those that are really true professionals that are above that, those are those people that do respect me, and that makes me feel good. You know, the professionals that respect me, that I hang with, are a lot farther along, and that's the people that I hang with. It's not that I don't mind those that don't know. You don't know, go out and learn and hang around the right people and learn the right values. And they're out there. I mean, there's people that are carrying that, right? With schools, Tom Rose, you know, they're out there, right? But please, learn your craft, really pay your dues and earn it before you go out and hang on a shingle, right? You're not a professional until you really have some tools in your belt and represent your profession in such a way that you can be proud of that, right? Don't just be a part of the problem, right? I'll talk to you later. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, a little yak session as I come into town for some breakfast this morning. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.